The officers who were on the streets during the civil unrest don't feel free to speak about it publicly, but their union leaders wanted to make sure those voices were heard.
All I said to him was, "How are you doing?" Broke down in tears, and he says, "My department left me in there to die." And he texted his wife and saying he thought he was going to die that night.
3 leaders of the Minneapolis Police Federation appeared at a Senate oversight hearing to describe the emotions officers felt when they were asked to relinquish the 3rd precinct to an onslaught of rioters May 28th.
Everything that you've heard with officers inside that precinct on Tuesday and Wednesday and Thursday, this might be my last night. I might not come home. Tell my kids I love them.
They had sharp criticism of elected leaders in Minneapolis, saying the move to restructure the department has harmed morale on the police force at a time when violence is spiking.
They feel completely abandoned by this city.
Democrats on the committee expressed sympathy for the mental health issues that officers are facing right now, but also asked the Republican chair of the committee, when is he going to schedule a hearing on the incident that sparked all of this, the death of George Floyd in police custody. In Minneapolis, I'm John Croman.